I'm not sure where this fits in our chronology, but how did you become connected with Frankie Lymon?
So here's what happened. When my mother passed away, so I was in my second year at Harvard, and I left, right, and I was intending to go back, and in fact, I had packed up my stuff and was getting ready to go, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and the police told me that they had just picked up my father and taken him to Bellevue, right, that he had broken down, had a nervous breakdown, right, in front of the funeral house. And so I stayed then in New York and dropped out of school, but I needed a job. So I had a John Hay Whitney Fellowship to graduate school. Martin Kilson was on the same kind of fellowship at Harvard at the same time I was there, right? And we used to meet with, I think his name was Robert Jones, who was the director of these fellowships. So I went to him asking him about work, and he said, well, we just got a notice from the Professional Children's School that Frankie Lymon needs a tutor because he wants to go on tour, he's underage, and the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Children won't let him tour unless he has a tutor, right? So I went down and interviewed with the guy who kind of owned him as a performer.
Manager,
right?
probably.
His manager, who was head of what was then called Roulette Records. And I met him at this nightclub he was opening up on the east side of Harlem, right, called the Knights of the Round Table.
Right.
So I'm this Harvard student. I tell him, well, I want this job, but if Frankie won't study for me, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to leave, right? Because they're paying big money, $125 a week, right, to be his tutor, right? So we went on. It was Jerry Lee Lewis and the big band, the Big
Bopper.
Big Bop, yep, whatever. And so you had a bus of performers, a bus of musicians, and Chuck Berry in his purple Cadillac. So we went all around through the Midwest, right? So Frankie wouldn't study for me, so I told him, well, I'm leaving. I'm not